You ever watch a decorated Navy SEAL sit in court, blood still under her fingernails, while the cop she put in a wheelchair smirks at her like it's some kind of game? Yeah, that happened. Her attorney whispering. They found the dash cam footage, just as the courtroom doors burst open and everything flips upside down. Let me back up a sec. Lieutenant Amara Johnson, 18 years Navy SEAL, was gripping her steering wheel on Chicago's South Side, just trying to visit her mom after surgery, right? But you know how it is. No matter how much battlefield experience you got, being back in your old neighborhood puts a knot in your stomach you can't quite shake. Amara kept checking her rear view, and sure enough, here come the red and blue lights, right on cue. She pulls over, hands on the wheel classic. Military discipline and street smarts, both in play. The cop stomps up. White guy, mid-30s, nameplate says Brendan Rodas, and he's got that walk that just screams trouble. License and registration, he barks, like she's already guilty. Amara keeps it calm. May I ask why I'm being pulled over, officer? He snaps back with taillights out. You were doing 43 and a 40, which she knows is nonsense. She checked those lights yesterday. But she plays it cool, lets him see her military ID, active duty, Navy SEAL, not that he cares. He laughs in her face, says, women aren't SEALs, and practically dares her to make a scene. You know what I mean. She steps out when told, even though he hasn't called in her info like he's supposed to. He circles her, tells her to spread her legs, hands on the hood, treating her like some perp, not someone who's risked her life for this country. Her mind's spinning. This feels more like a setup than a stop. Couple weeks ago, she testified against Miltech Industries, big defense contractor with fingers all over Chicago PD. They lost millions in contracts when she told the truth, and now this guy's getting rough with her, going through her phone, shoving her into the car when she tries to assert her rights. Then he reaches for his weapon. She sees it all happening before it happens. SEAL instincts kicking in. One controlled move, and she's got his wrist, sweeps his legs, puts him down before he even realizes he's in trouble. Didn't mean to break him, but he goes down hard. Neck stabilized, she calls for an ambulance. No hesitation. She did what she had to do. Sirens come screaming, backup swarms the scene, and suddenly Amara's the one on the ground, hands cuffed, face in the dirt, as the paramedics rush to Rodas, who's crying out about his legs. Nobody listens to her. Just aggressive black woman attacks heroic cop, written on every face, every news report. She gets stuffed in the back of a cruiser, and as she catches Rodas's eyes, it hits her. This is just beginning. 6 hours in a holding cell, no phone call, nobody telling her what's going on, just the sound of keys and shoes on old linoleum. When the DA, Victor Reynolds, all slick suit and cold smile, shows up, he's already made up his mind. You broke his spine. 20 years, minimum. Like she's the criminal, not the whistleblower. Amara stands her ground, demands her rights, asks for her lawyer, and that's when Rebecca Chin walks in, a firecracker of a defense attorney who's not scared of anybody. You violated her rights. I'll need the room. With Rebecca, Amara lays it all out, how the traffic stop was bogus, how Miltech has got connections in the department, how she's been getting threats ever since her testimony. Captain Marcus Davis, her CO, shows up in full dress whites, ready to vouch for her. But outside, the cops union calls her a menace. The media blasts her photo, paints her as some dangerous militant, and all she's got is house arrest and an ankle monitor. Yeah, justice, right? At home, the word criminal is spray painted on her door. Somebody wants her rattled. But Amara's had enough. If they want to fight, we'll show them one, she tells Rebecca and Davis. They dig in. Rebecca starts building a wall of evidence. 38 black drivers stopped by Rodas last month, just 7 white. Anonymous whistleblower drops memos on her desk, showing a department special attention policy for certain neighborhoods, always black or Hispanic. And the kicker. Rodas did security for Miltech, same division Amara testified against. This is no coincidence, it's a hit job, plain and simple. Meanwhile, the DA's trying to strong-arm a plea 5 years if she admits to something she didn't do. Rebecca isn't having it. They research the judge. Pierce, police union ties, brother was a captain, the deck stacked. But then Amara's SEAL buddies start showing up, running their own quiet ops. Journalist Zoe Parker gets involved, digging up a paper trail. Miltech money funneled through the police union. Campaign cash in the DA's pocket stopped their making progress. But the other side isn't backing down. Rebecca's office gets smashed up. Criminal. On the wall, files stolen. Judge Pierce keeps blocking access to evidence, letting prosecution witnesses slide while hammering Rebecca for every little thing. But Amara's people are fighters. When an intruder with Miltech ties breaks into Amara's apartment and gets caught, it's more proof of the conspiracy. The jury's getting stacked. But Rebecca finds ways around, gets nurses, teachers, folks who know what abuse of power feels like. Amara goes on offense, teaching her lawyer counter-surveillance, planning fake meetings to spook the cops, feeding the system its own paranoia. Zoe Parker drops her big story in the Tribune, and suddenly, public opinion's turning. Whistleblowers from inside CPD start sending evidence, memos, stats, damning stories. The DA's losing control, the judge is exposed for taking cash from Miltech affiliates, and finally, Rebecca gets the unedited dashcam footage from a scared cop named Ramirez. It shows everything. Rhoda's stalking Amara, threatening her, referencing her testimony, drawing his weapon first. The jury sees it, the world sees it, protests outside, calls for justice. The prosecution tries to bail, but the new judge, Elaine Torres, won't let them run. She makes sure the evidence gets in. Amara testifies herself, clear, calm, and unbreakable. I did what I was trained to do. I neutralized a threat. The jury sees it. The jury knows. Not guilty on all charges. Rhodes, caught in his own lies, stands up and walks out of court. No limp, no cane, total fraud. Judge orders him investigated. DA Reynolds is facing disbarment, and the city has to apologize. Amara's reinstated, promoted, and puts her settlement money into a foundation to help others fight police abuse. She gets tapped to lead a military anti-corruption task force. Her story runs everywhere: news, veterans groups, even the Chicago cops who stood up for her. That word criminal they sprayed on her door? It's gone. People nod when they see her now, cops, neighbors, even old enemies. The fight's not over, but the system cracked, and in that crack, something new can grow. So, what do you think? Was Amara Johnson right to fight back? You think exposing corruption is worth all this pain? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't just hers. It's about every one of us stuck in a system that sometimes feels rigged and impossible to fix. Hit that like button if you believe nobody, cop, politician, CEO, should be above the law. Share this if you know someone fighting their own battle for justice. Because if there's one thing Amara taught us, it's that the system only changes when somebody refuses to let it break them. And sometimes, one person's courage really can start a movement.